Adam, if you're ready to go, I'm ready to go and have you on here because I know that there's a lot of stuff that we want to get accomplished. Good to see you, Adam.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
It's awesome. I appreciate you joining us this afternoon, and I know that we've got a lot of things that we want to cover. And I sent you over, and you and I have been kind of talking about this, but we saw this article that came out just in the last few days, August the 21st, about these market pattern changes that we're seeing and how a lot of patients are skipping going to the doctor just because they can't afford it. And man, whenever I saw this article, I thought, man, we need to share this and kind of tie that into one of our services. And so, you know, I'm going to pull this up and just let people kind of read this. But and if people can see down at the very bottom, we've got a link there. But Adam, I mean, we know that a lot of people don't go to the doctors simply because they feel like they can't pay it or pay it out.
Yep. It's, you know, with everything that's been going on with healthcare lately, deductibles are going up, they're on the rise, and people are having a really hard time just, you know, they don't really want to go unless something really serious has happened, you know. So they don't want to do any kind of preventative care or just go in for checkups or anything like that because of this reason. So yeah, we actually have a way to simplify allowing patients to pay what they owe that's not covered by insurance. We have a way for them to pay that through one of our services that our licensees can offer to medical practices. So yeah, so it's been this one service that we have out of the 9 that we have has been really making a big impact as far as encouraging you know, Americans to take care of themselves.
Well, it's interesting, you know, I know that we talk about all of our services all the time, but it's always good to go out there and find out information. And again, this just was released just, you know, yesterday, I believe the 21st. And here it says payment plans are a key method for boosting patient collection and helping patients break down their healthcare costs into affordable payments. Payment plans will continue to play a vital role at provider organizations as industry experts predict deductibles and healthcare prices to continue to rise. So folks, we're going to just show you real quickly. This is one of our services. Adam, we've had this around for ages.
Yeah, actually, can you go back one slide real quick?
Yeah, you bet.
I wanted to point out, I think that very last sentence, I wanted to highlight that.
You bet.
Providers will have to work with their patients to manage healthcare affordability issues as patients become a major source of provider revenue. See, that's a very big deal because a lot more of doctors' revenue is coming from patients, from their wallet. So that's exactly what this service helps with. So I just wanted to underscore that, make sure people saw that. But yeah, we've had this service. We've been offering this service for many years, Choice Pay. And it's a completely web-based platform that we have. We're all about web-based systems here that you can access anywhere in the world with an internet connection. But it's simple. It allows patients to pay what they owe, and they can do it very easily in a monthly payment, you know, with their credit card, or their bank account, or whatever works for them. And it's completely automated for the patients and the doctors. And you know, once it gets set up the first time, they don't have to worry about it. And doctors are able to, you know, bring on more patients that can pay smaller amounts. You know, so there's people that don't go to the doctors because they can't pay the larger amounts that they have to pay. And so that's what this service does. It helps bring in more revenue because it makes it easier for the patients. Yeah.
You bet. So folks, again, I'm going to go back one slide here, but you can see down at the very bottom, we've got the entire link there that you can go see. Go get the handout, because on that handout, you'll see that link there. You can go read about that. This article is actually talking about another type of payment plan. But again, AB Systems, we have had this for, like Adam says, for many years. Choice Pay has been around. We've been implementing this. And so it just, Adam, it's just good to see that, you know, the things that we have, and a lot of times we don't talk so much about these ancillary services but it's good to see that there are articles out there that actually support all of our services in some way or fashion or another.
Yeah, a lot of people that are on this webinar today probably think this is, you know, this ABS opportunity is just medical billing for doctors and that's it. And it's so much more than that. I mean, there's 9 different revenue cycle services that you can offer. And we're going to go through all those services today and kind of show you how they work. But I'm sure everyone on this webinar right now is thinking, I need to know about my investment. Like, how do I make my money back? How much does it cost, and how quickly can I make it back? And so that's what this webinar is about.
Yeah, so that's exactly what we're going to talk about, folks. Obviously, we're going to talk about how quickly you can get to this break even on your investment. So we know that with our opportunity, or Adam, really with any other business opportunity out there, there is some cost to some investment out there. And a lot of times, you know, sometimes this whole word return on investment, or ROI, might be new to some folks. And so what we're talking about here is just what you can do of the money that you've invested. How can you get that back? That just gets you back to break even.
Yes, I mean, anyone on this webinar who's been looking at multiple different opportunities in different industries, and you know, we know that there's a lot of people on here today that are considering all kinds of things. They're looking at all kinds of things. So you really have to crunch the numbers and take a look at what is it going to be required for me to pay up front total, you know, as far as like the license fee or the franchise fee, you know, any ongoing operational costs, different things like that, versus, you know, how long will it take me to actually recoup my investment. And you'll see that there's a lot of different opportunities out there and a lot of different price ranges. So the one that we've got makes it pretty easy. And so we're going to kind of go through that today. Yeah.
Now, folks, again, during the whole webinar this afternoon, this is your time. So over the next 50 minutes or so, if we get to a slide and you want to ask a question, feel free to do that. And Adam and I are going to be kind of monitoring that throughout the presentation. So again, we're just going to kind of break this down. We're going to break it down into 3 sections. You've got your investment, then you've got your return, and then what you call your success. Obviously, you get what you put into it, what you return, and then you're in the money kind of sort of thing. That's what we're going to sort of break this thing down on. And Adam, I think the best way is to look at it between, you know, something that people kind of know about, Subway sandwiches. I mean, obviously you can go, there's another link here that you can kind of see this whole breakdown, but you know, it's kind of good. Obviously not everybody's looking at Subway as a, you know, as a franchise to get into, but it kind of gives us at least a foundation, kind of talk about return on investments.
Yeah, so let's go through it and kind of talk about, this is just to give you some idea as to what you should expect in investing in a real, you know, franchise that has a lot of upfront costs for you, and a lot more risk, honestly, involved in starting something like with a storefront, you know, with product that you have to stock, and teenagers that you have to pay and manage, and you know, there's a lot of headaches involved in this, doing some type of retail store like this, like a food franchise. So yeah, so you want to talk about how much it costs to start a Subway there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the minimum is $117,000 up to $263 is what we, again, this is how much we, you see right down there, it's how much it is to open up a Subway sandwich. And again, obviously you got to be in the right area. Make sure that you're not building another Subway on top of somebody else. Adam, before we go any further, you want to kind of give that explanation between what a franchise is and what we are as a business opportunity?
It's actually not as different as you might think as far as the potential for revenue for you. There are a lot more things that you have to pay to the franchisor, you know, if you do end up starting a business like a Subway, for example. So you end up having to pay a percentage of your revenue back to the franchisor. It's called a royalty fee, and so they actually take straight off the top, you know, a portion of your profits that you make, and then you have to pay those back every year. Every year you have to pay those. We actually don't have anything like that. So we give you the same kind of training and ongoing support and help with marketing and everything like that, except you don't have to pay any royalty fees. And the other thing with Subway is you know, well, most franchises, not just Subway, but most franchises, they have a certain restricted territory that you can only market in. And ours, is not like that. So we do things a little bit differently, and you're able to market these services to any provider in the United States. And that actually works really, really well in the healthcare field, because a lot of business comes from referrals, and you could get referrals from, for any doctor in the United States and do business with them. So it's a little bit different in that way. And we actually feel that it works really, really well the way that we have it structured. So.
You bet. But we know, obviously, again, we're kind of doing this comparison here. Most franchisers are going to run anywhere from good ones. They're going to run anywhere from maybe 50,000 up to 150. Obviously, it can be a little bit more with the subways, but then to try to get a return, and this is what we have to talk about now. You just spent, $170,000, maybe $200,000. And Adam, the money that is the actual return on the investment for the first year is only going to average about 30 to 45,000. And folks, you'll see why we're doing this comparison with something that's well known like Subway. We see the cost, but we see this return on investment of $30 to $45,000 the first year. And Adam, again, as we kind of see what success would be, that would be, you would have to have invested into 4 of these Subway sandwich companies just to get the return on your investment for just the initial one that you've invested in. I mean, it just, take a little bit of time to get the full return on investment throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. Now those numbers, is that gross profit, or is that net after everything? Is that...
According to that website that I had down on that first one, it's just basically the net that we're looking at there.
Okay, so they've already paid the royalty and all that other kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, it takes a lot, and that's why everyone that opens up a Subway, when they finally do the numbers, they're like, okay, in order for me to make any kind of decent living here, I'm going to have to open up multiple restaurants, and that's a big, big, big commitment. I mean, it's a lot of time. You're working 24/7 at that place. You know what I mean? It never stops. And that's another thing that we can talk about is the time spent providing these services to a doctor is far, far, far less than you might think, to get the kind of revenue that you need to make to see a fast return on your investment. So.
You bet. So now let's look at ours, and folks, you're going to see again kind of this comparison and why we chose Subway, because of the numbers are going to match here when we finally get to the return on the investment. But first of all, with us, you're going to spend $26,990, so right at $27,000. And Adam, I know that people go, well, is that all I'm going to spend? And the only thing that you're going to find out that you'll need to spend extra is just the travel on getting here to get to the training and sit in that training class. But for $26,000 is your initial investment with us here at ABS. However, as you're going to see here, when we go run these numbers here, your first return on investment is going to be $30,000 to $40,000. And in a minute, we're going to put these numbers side by side so you can see and compare these. But Adam, I mean, already for the first year, you've already got your return on your investment. So therefore, we're already at a success rate with a return on investment with one doctor for the first year.
That's right. And so that's a net figure there, just like the Subway was a net figure. And we actually have a document that we can tell you how to get there. It's a PDF file that actually goes into a lot more detail on what your potential operating costs may be to run this business that we have, but it's pennies. It's pennies right, compared to something like a Subway or a big franchise operation. So we can go into that and tell you guys how to access that document if you want to learn more about that.
You bet. So what we're going to do, folks, if you've got your pen and paper out and you want to write down these numbers, Adam, I mean, we can actually show them how to get to it on our website too, but it's kind of good to kind of illustrate this out. And that's what we're going to do with the next few slides here. So imagine that you've got this one doctor, and Adam, I know you've got 3 children and you've been to the doctor, and obviously we're getting older and we've been to the doctor. Every time we go to the doctor's office, it seems like there's 25 patients waiting to go see the doctor right before me. But we got to take this average of 25 patients per day. I mean, these numbers that we're going to show here are fairly low.
Yeah, it's every licensee that we talk to that's, you know, working with general practitioners say, yeah, they're seeing 25, 30 patients a day, and they're trying to run them through there as quick as they can because they're not making as much money as they used to on each visit. So that's why they're doing it. You know, that's why you don't get very much time with your doctor anymore. It's for that reason.
Right.
So, yeah.
So again, now we're just going to talk just some general numbers. And Adam, I know we kind of talked about, you know, what's gross and what's net. And the number that we try to look at here is, you know, there's what we know as in our world of billing. There's the submission amount, the amount that goes out with the claim, but then what's the actual reimbursed amount is right around $100. So folks, the number that we're showing you right now is typically what the doctor's actually getting back in revenue from the insurance company. So, you know, Adam, we're trying to be, again, as conservative as we can with these numbers here. And, you know, what we're looking at here is the doctor's trying to get at least $2,500 a day if they're just a regular general practitioner.
Yeah, this is just general practice. I was going to say, you know, if you're talking about a specialist, you know, anybody with anybody with ologist on the end of their specialty, those doctors make quite a bit more. And as a licensee, you're making a percentage of the doctor's revenue. You know, right now our licensees are anywhere in the range of 5 to 9%. So these numbers that we're showing you, this is very, very conservative. I mean, you will have some clients where it's actually quite a bit more revenue than this, and so which means you're making more revenue because of that percentage. So wanted to clear that up.
And for anybody thinking about this is including what you would typically see as a reimbursement amount for even with Medicare. I know that Medicare pays less, but when you average it out between the commercials, insurance companies that the doctors are with, and the what we call federal, the Medicare, again, this is all averaging out to be about $100 per patient. So if we look at this, if this doctor is seeing at least 25 patients a day and they're getting $100 per patient, that's where we're getting this particular number from. And then if they're working at least 20 days a month, you know, that's coming out to be about $50,000 in revenue. And Adam, I know people are probably going, wow, doctors are making a killing out there. I mean, if you think of it, that may be $500,000 a year, but that's not what's actually going in the pocket of the doctors because of all the things that they're paying for.
Yep, you got to factor all that in as well, but that's the gross that we're talking about here. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the gross. So they got overhead and, you know, the employees and rental, and they may have student loans that they're trying to pay off, but again, at the end of the month, that's what they're trying to get to, is somewhat of a roundabout number. So if we take a look at this again from your side, you know, from the billing side of that. So if you're over there billing this out and you're working with this one doctor and you've got these numbers here, then you're charging, as Adam said there, you know, anywhere from 5 to 7%. So we just took 6%. You're making $150 a day on what? An hour and a half, maybe 2 hours worth of work, Adam?
Yeah, we actually have timed our licensees, and they can do one claim in about 2 minutes. So, you know, if a doctor's seeing 30 patients a day, that's about 1 hour of actual processing work a day for that doctor or that client. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we take this and then just start doubling out for you, you're making $750 a week. And again, let's just take out at the maximum amount of time. Let's even say that it took you 2 or 3 hours a day. You know, that's still decent money for a part-time work for you to make $750 a week. If you take that 52 weeks a year, that's $39,000 for one doctor. Adam, I mean, just kind of take a look at this from our site. We took these screenshots here, so you could go to AV Systems and go to where it says income potential, and you'll land on this medical billing income calculator. and Adam, we're just going to plug in the same numbers as what we just did. One doctor, 25 patients, 5 days a week, 6% at $100. Let's click on submit. Boom. There it is. So that's what you're going to make with just one doctor at 39,000. And again, if we're looking at this, Adam, you might want to talk about this. Your return on investment. It's at 27, and you're making over 30, nearly $40,000 a year with one doctor.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. Is typically our licensees. Now it takes, with our process, with our help, it takes an average of 30 to 60 days or so to get your first client signed up after our training course. But that is something that we focus very heavily on, is helping you with the marketing and finding doctors who need help. Most of them do. So yeah, once you get that first doctor signed up and start doing the processing work for them, you will see a return on your complete investment in the ABS opportunity in a year or less. That's what our licensees are averaging right now. And yeah, and if one licensee is out there building the business, without the help of a business partner or any sales reps or anything, they should expect to sign up 2 to 4 doctors per year. That's kind of a conservative range that we're seeing for one person out there building the business with our help, 2 to 4 per year. Now, I mean, that could be, just through different referrals that you could get one client, but that one client is, 4 or 5 doctors in a practice together. So that increases your revenue exponentially, obviously, because you're making, roughly 39 grand on each one of those providers for doing the work. So it can very, very quickly get pretty lucrative, as you can see. Bet.
Yeah. And again, with this one simple investment, what we're talking about compared to the one we talked about earlier. Aaron's got a question here. Adam, I'm going to read the question to you, and we'll see what we can do to answer this. Aaron's asking, is ABS requiring any collection service from us as licensees, or are collections handled by another agency? You want to answer that one?
Yeah, great question, Aaron. And that is one thing that we do not want our licensees to have to do is call little old ladies and try to get them to pay their bill. So so we actually have a separate service. It's called Quick Collect, and it's very similar to a collection agency. Aaron says, thank goodness. So it's very similar to a collection agency, and this is completely optional for doctors. There are some doctors who do want to collect on past due accounts from patients, and if they do, we have this service where we have a technology partner that does all the work. You just put them into the system, they do all the phone calls and letter writing and everything, and you as a licensee actually get to make a little bit of money on it, as well as the doctors, getting to collect some of their money. There it is right there, Quick Collect. So yeah, it's very similar to a collection agency, but it's done a little bit differently and a little more efficiently and not so mean, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. It's like, but it's totally optional, and it's a separate revenue stream for you. It's another revenue stream for the doctors if they want to go after it, but they don't have to. So yeah, good question.
Yeah, it's like that what we talked about earlier about making the payment plan for these patients, that we can just have patients pay over time. Again, these are these ancillary services, again, that we don't talk a lot about, that they're there to use for the doctors. Adam James is asking another question here. Good question before we move on. What is your post-support structure and cost? You want to get into that, and then we'll kind of do a comparison between what we've already got so far.
Yeah, there's a lot to answer in that, but we make it pretty easy. That initial investment for the business covers lifetime support from us, and we're talking about any kind of marketing support, technical support. There's a lot of training and implementation that we do for your clients. Once you sign up a new doctor, we do a lot of system implementation and training for you, so you get a lot for that. And it's $0 beyond that $26,990 that you pay up front. Now, your next question should be, well, you guys are nuts. You're going to go out of business in no time. So where are you guys making money? We do make money on the back end, and this is how we do it. So we actually set up a deal with the company that created our billing platform that we're going to show you in a minute. And so every doctor that our licensees sign up on the billing system, we get a small residual back from that company. So that's why we don't double dip and charge royalty fees or support fees or anything like that. We actually support you ongoing for the life of your business. It never expires, no cost to you.
There you go. That's a great answer, and I appreciate you taking the time to answer that for everybody. And there's some other questions that we're going to get to here. So, Aaron, we haven't forgotten about you. We'll get to yours here in just a second. But before we get too deep in a lot of these other questions, again, let's kind of do this. Like we said, we're going to do this kind of a comparison, investment versus return and versus success. And again, you've got that. Just take that lower number of that Subway, 117,000. And again, we're not against Subway. Everybody needs a Subway in their hometown. I mean, that's great. So we're not knocking that at all, but we're talking about you and your money and your investment of what you want to invest on, what you're trying to do as your return on your investment. You can see here with one Subway, you're going to get that ROI of about 30 to 45,000, and with ours is 39,000. So it fits right smack dab in the middle of what you can get as a return with your investment with a Subway. And then finally, to get to that success, you're going to need 4 restaurants just to get back that 117, where with ABS, you just need 1 doctor. So hopefully this has been helpful up to this point, Adam, just to kind of lay out this structure here of just talking about an ROI with 1 doctor.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're completely different industries, and that's something that you're going to want to weigh, factor in as well. And I'm certainly a Subway fan. I worked there when I was 15. I worked there for about 3 or 4 years. I was a certified sandwich artist. Certified. Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
Hold your applause. But no, seriously though. But I saw, our owner, my boss. He had, I believe at the time he had 3 locations, and I worked at all 3 of those locations at different times, and I would see him running from one location to the next every day. Every day he was just running back and forth, transferring materials, picking up money, just managing, dealing with employees and dealing with customers, and he was it was just running him ragged, So how hard do you want to work really with your new business that you're going to start? That's the other thing, is because we do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to the medical field and the healthcare field. That's why we have people, actually the majority of people that go through our training class have never been in healthcare, never done billing. We actually take someone from zero and we show them how to use the system. We show them how we're going to provide ways for them to get leads and find doctors and help them and get them signed up. I mean, that's what we're there for. So there's several steps that we'll tell you about here in a minute that we take you through, all the way from the very initial phone call all the way to them signing the contract. We are there every step of the way. And it's because we make that money from the software company that we do that. So it's very much a team effort, in getting the client signed up with ABS.
There is an interesting question that has come up from Marina, and I love this because apparently she has been as a healthcare provider, and but Marina says, from previous information on your site, one of the selling points for doctors to sign up is a payment within 7 days to doctor's account. Having been a mental health provider myself and billing myself, I got paid 30 to 60 days after sending the claim. I am very curious how the turnaround is so quick and how we can guarantee that. Adam, you want to kind of tackle that one real quickly?
Sure, that's a great question. And really nationwide, that's really kind of the norm, 30, 60, 90 days, even 30 to 120 days is it's been considered the norm for several years now. And so, with our system, what we state on our site is that with our system, most doctors get paid in as little as 7 days, which is true. So our average turnaround time to get paid is 7 to 21 days. That's the average, which is still below, the 30 to 60, 90 that most people see. And there's several factors involved. And this is a little bit of an explanation, this screenshot here, but there's a couple of real big bottlenecks that a lot of practices have with getting paid. And it has to do a lot with how the technology is set up. So it starts with the fact that our system is 100% cloud-based, and we do all of the updates to the system constantly behind the scenes. So you never have to worry about downloading an update or paying for an update or anything like that. It's just pushed to the system every night. So anytime the government, tries to change the rules, which they do a lot, we are already ready for that change, and the system is ready for it, so that the claims keep going through and getting paid in a timely manner. The other thing is we actually have a built-in clearinghouse that was built by the same development team that actually built the billing and electronic medical records and patient portals platforms. So that's actually very unique in the market as well. Almost all the competitors out there competing software, they're using third-party clearinghouses. And what a clearinghouse does is they're kind of the middleman between the billing system and the insurance company. And so the clearinghouse will take the claim and they'll do a little bit of error checking and what's called scrubbing, and then they'll reformat it for whichever insurance company it needs to go to, and then they handle that information coming back from the insurance and put it back into the iClaim platform or whatever platform you're using. The fact that we built our own clearinghouse means that we are able to have the highest levels of connections that you can make, not only with all the insurance payers out there, but also with pharmacies and labs and all kinds of stuff. So we are able to stay on top of all the changes that are required for sending and receiving data. And we can give you a demo if you want to get back to your business coach that sent you this email, Marina, and we can actually give you a demo of the system and show you how the integration of our system is really what is getting the results that doctors need. And the fact that our system is cloud-based, the doctors can log in 24/7 and they can see exactly where their money is at any given moment. They can see the results very, very quickly with our platform. So I hope that answers that, but that's the reason why we're seeing such really good turnaround time. And not to mention the fact that 98% of the claims that go through our system, because of all this stuff that we have, 98% are getting paid on the first submission. So we're seeing a less than 2% rejection rate for claims. Less than 2% of insurance companies are saying, oh, let's reject that. So 98%, they have to pay that claim because it's so clean, there's nothing wrong with it. The insurance companies are like, oh, darn it, we got to pay another claim for my claim because there's nothing wrong with it. So anyway, Marina,
that's a great.
I'll see that demo. Thank you for your explanation. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you're going to need to see a demo because that's really what is going to help you to understand that. Because as Adam said earlier, you're going to get a lifetime of support. And part of your support from us is ABS is doing your demos for you, for your doctors. So you're getting that on the front end as you're doing your due diligence here. And then once you become a licensee, when you're engaged with a doctor, you're going to get that same support, that same demonstration, more again on your level that you're going to be working with your doctor. And that's how a lot of our licensees are finding such great success as quickly as they can. So I thought what we would do now, Adam, is kind of we're getting to the bottom of the hour and past that now is we've kind of done this comparison. This 27,000, you can get your return on your investment for the first year. After the first year, so let's talk about what you're going to get for your investment here at ABS.
All right, so let's get into that. I think we're going to talk about the different services. We've done a little bit of that on this webinar, and I kind of did a long explanation about our cloud-based system just a minute ago. But here it is again in a format where you can see the four different what we call platforms that were developed. So this iClaim system is a platform that does not only medical billing, but it's a full-blown practice management system. So it does scheduling and insurance verifications and all kinds of stuff that the front office staff can use if they want to. The EMRX platform is what does the medical records for the doctors. So they actually use the EMRX platform on a laptop or an iPad in the exam room when they're treating the patients. The clearinghouse, I kind of explained that just a moment ago. And then there's also a patient portal where the patients can interact with the system and schedule appointments and pay their bills and do all kinds of stuff through that cloud-based patient portal. So all four of those were developed by one team under one roof, which makes us pretty unique.
Yeah, and one other thing, Adam, I mean, I know we're talking about different franchises, different business opportunities out there in the marketplace, and one that we know about, there is a business opportunity that's selling the doctors what's called e-visits, or this where they're doing this online with their doctors. I mean, we actually have that built inside of our system already.
Telemedicine. So sometimes you'll see it called telemedicine, or we call them e-visits. That's a new feature that we have implemented in our system right now, and it's where doctors can do a webcam visit with their patient over the internet. The patient doesn't even have to leave their house, and that's actually been used in a lot of like when the last big hurricane hit. They used people that couldn't leave their home or needed to communicate with a doctor that was far away. They use that system. It also works for just people that are in rural areas and can't get to the doctor, or maybe people that are invalid, can't get out of their house. So we have that feature built in right now. Yeah. Yep,
you bet. It's already there. And Adam's already kind of gone over this whole platform here, but again, with this totally integrated system, with our clearinghouse, it just makes everything work smoothly from start to finish, and getting the results of what they can have out there. But again, what you're getting is this full customizable platform. As you can see, it's a US-based customer service. Folks, again, that's sort of unique in the industry whenever it comes down to software companies, and ours is 100% US-based. It's been around here since '98, and we can integrate, and there's all types of specialties here. This is what you're getting here from American Business System as part of your investment.
Yeah, another fairly unique feature is our systems run on any internet connected device, basically.
Yeah.
So they will run on any PC, any Mac, any browser, any tablet, iPads, iOS, Android, Windows, you name it. So it makes it very easy for you and very easy for your clients. If your doctor can get on the internet, that's it. They're good to go.
Yeah, and another thing, and you kind of talking this in overtones already, but again, we don't have to maintain, or neither do you as a licensee need to maintain a server. You don't need the extra expense for extra equipment. You don't have to do that with your doctor. That's what it is all about. Here's, again, just a brief overview of iClaim that we've already kind of talked about here. Obviously, it is cloud-based, as we've already said, and the same thing here for the electronic medical records, which is the EMRX. And again, if you haven't had an opportunity to see this as a demo, just give us a call. We would love to be able to do that. And Adam, as we kind of get into these other services here, before we move on, I mean, we've received all these different awards from our EMR system, and it's still growing, and it's awesome to see that these things are already set there in the industry, and so you really don't have to be too concerned about the viability of this particular platform.
Yeah, I mean, we've been marketing cloud-based systems for many years now. I mean, back when the cloud was, no one even really knew that term,
Right.
And so at this point in time, I think it's safe to say the cloud is here to stay. And I think that the general consensus is that okay, cloud systems are safe, they're secure. We go over and beyond what is required, as far as what the government requires to be secure online. We use all the same measurements in the things that banks use for online banking. And so we'd be happy to kind of talk to you more about the security of the system. But there's nothing you can throw at it that's going to hurt it. I mean, it's as secure as you can possibly get, and it's, you know, just the fact that you can access it anywhere in the world with an internet connection just makes it so easy and so scalable. It's the way to go for sure.
You bet. You bet. Yeah, we've already touched on this one, Quick Collect, and I know that we've already kind of touched on Choice Pay, but again, we're just reviewing what you're getting for your investment here. And as you can see, we kind of got it set up to the left. There are these marketing pieces. And Adam, I know that with franchises, you got to buy all of that from the franchisor, and you've got to keep that or that franchise's name on there. But as you can see here to the left, AB Systems is not anywhere listed on here. You want to explain what we actually put on these flyers as we're kind of going through some of these different services?
Yeah, so every service that you see today, like Eric said, there's a flyer next to the service to show you what the promotional material looks like, and we have postcard versions of these as well. But this is your business, so that's another big difference with this opportunity is we actually help you create your own business entity, your own company name. And so what we do is once you've created your name and your logo and all that good stuff, we actually print that on these materials that you see, and we have them professionally printed and shipped straight to your door, so that you are truly an independent business owner and you're marketing our branded service names like Auto Guard, for example. But you are an independent business owner and you can run this business however you see fit. You can keep it small and home-based. We have licensees that get offices with, well, I mean, we have some licensees that have 6,000 square foot offices with data entry people and sales reps and the whole 9 yards. So if you want to work that hard and get to that level, I mean, that's a very, very large time commitment, but it is also a very large revenue for you. So if you want to go down that road, you certainly can. There are no restrictions whatsoever. So yeah, does that cover that? I think that does.
You bet. You did a great job on that. And folks, again, we're just kind of slipping through some of these ancillary services here. But again, Choice Pay, we've already mentioned in the beginning. And again, I encourage you to go over there in that handout and download that PDF, and you'll see there that article that we put out there about paying deductibles out and all these things, so that it gives the opportunity for not only for the doctor, but for the patient to be seen by the doctor. And again, just helping the doctor to get paid. This is what it's all about. That's why we're talking about in the terms of not just billing, but as a certified medical revenue management company, doing these performance improvements in these doctors' offices is what we're doing, and showing you all these different services. And again, Adam, I know a lot of people think about, oh my goodness, I hear this thing billing. That's got to be related with coding somehow. You want to answer that one real quickly before we move forward?
Yeah, are you on Audit Guard? My slides are moving kind of slow.
I'm on Audit Guard.
Okay. Yeah, and by the way, before we get into this service, I think we neglected to mention that at the very beginning of this webinar, the potential revenue that we showed you for this business, that was one service. The 39,000 a year or whatever for one doctor, that was just for iClaim. That was just for the medical billing service alone. We don't have time to get into the nitty gritty of the revenue for each one of these services, but that is listed in that PDF file that I told you guys about. So we have a research guide. It's a PDF. It's like 40-something pages, and it goes into very much detail on, how each one of these services work, how they're marketed, and how much money you can make on each one of them. So you can have 9 different potential revenue streams. I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. But so this service is called Audit Guard. What does that mean? Well, it actually helps prevent doctors from being fined by Medicare if Medicare ever were to come and do an audit on the doctor's practice, which they do that a lot. They're really ramping up their auditing right now. Because there's a lot of fraud out there, and really there's a lot of doctors that are not trying to be fraudulent, but they're just doing things not quite the right way that they should be, and they could get into trouble. Even if they're not trying to do anything on purpose, they could get into trouble. The fine If Medicare comes in and finds, something wrong, that the doctors are coding improperly or anything like that, the fines are enormous. I mean, what are the fines? Like 250,000 an infraction or something like that. I don't know. It's a very, very big number. So what we can do is we have a service where we can come in and we can take a look at the doctor's processes and their charts and their codes and see what they're doing. And we do a full analysis of their daily practice. And we actually will help them. We'll give them a quality score. We'll give them a revenue impact report that shows, hey, here's what you should be doing to make sure that you're doing everything the right way. You should be doing it this way instead of this way. And it gives them all the best practices they need to make sure that they're doing everything right. So if Medicare ever did come in and do an audit, if they have this report they can show them, the chances of them being fined are greatly reduced. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a 100% guarantee they won't be fined, but if they've gone through this, I mean, the chances of them being fined are greatly, greatly reduced. So this is another service where you can make money, but we do all the work for you. So you don't have to do any of this reporting stuff that you see here. We do all the work and you make money on it.
It's just like the other service of CodeWrite. I mean, if you're afraid that you don't know any of these codes, well, we have these services in order for you to present this information to the doctor. So if the doctor says, hey, Adam, can you do coding for me? You would say, yes, I can, because that is one of my services that you're getting from ABS. And so these things are here for you to answer the question in a yes, positive manner with the doctor. When the doctor says, can you do this? Yes, I can. Matter of fact, for those that want to see the demo of our iClaim system, we'll even show you with our EMRX platform, the electronic medical records platform, that when the doctor goes through their notes, that the system's actually coding for the doctor in the first place. So folks, we really truly have it all covered. And Adam, we get to the last few of these, which another one is IDocs now, which can be used a lot of times for the doctors because it is HIPAA compliant for storing just data, just paper upon paper and paper. But this is one of those services that could actually be used outside of a doctor's office, maybe with attorneys and schools and anybody else that just needs a place to store paper.
Yeah, we didn't even get into that, but some services we have like this one can be offered outside of the healthcare field. I mean, any industries that have tons of paper that they need to get, scanned and archived and put up in the cloud, government agencies, schools, all kinds of stuff. That's what this service is for. So specifically with regard to healthcare, this is for mostly for the doctor's historical documents that they don't need to access on a regular basis, a daily basis. So, you've gone into every doctor's office and you've seen those giant filing cabinets. Well, we can eliminate those filing cabinets. Like we can literally scan and archive all of their documents because they have to hang on to these old documents for, 7 years?
Yes.
So we can scan and archive and get all those documents up into the cloud so they can easily access them, online. And we've actually had doctors that have gotten rid of those filing cabinets and freed up space for another exam room and been able to bring in more revenue once that was done.
Yeah.
So this is a great service. Yeah.
One last one that we're going to talk about today, and that's Customizable Guard. And I know that this is one of the ones that we're not listed on one of those little boxes up there at the front, but we've got this service, Adam, that if people are afraid about how you're going to market out there, this is one of those that you just ask any person in a doctor's office, hey, can I speak to your compliancy officer? And their eyeballs are going to get big thinking, oh my gosh, who is this person that's asking me about this question? This is absolutely one of those things that could certainly be an incredible door opener for anybody that wants to get involved with us here at ABS.
Yep, very good door opener. Most private practices, they have a HIPAA compliancy manual, paper, sitting on a shelf, collecting dust. And, if they hire somebody new, they may tell them, hey, you should probably read that. And that's about it.
Right. So
this program that we have, it's another web-based platform where they go log in and all the new staff, and any new hires can get trained on HIPAA compliancy, and they can do testing and make sure that they're doing everything that they can to be compliant. You guys would be, I think you'd probably be shocked at how non-compliant most practices are. It's crazy. Like using Gmail email addresses and Yahoo and stuff, and just leaving sensitive documents all over the place. And so that's what this helps with. It helps them stay out of trouble.
Yeah. Well, again, we're kind of getting to the, we've got about 7 minutes here, Adam, and we're almost about 3/4 of the way through here. But again, folks, what you're getting for your investment, that's really kind of where we kind of took this ball and we're running with it, is you're going to get marketing pieces that work. And again, each one of these is designed for you to use out in the marketplace. But again, it can be customizable with your information, your logo, your contact information, along with these postcards that we have here, and along with, as you can see here on the back side of these, this is what it sort of looks like here. So Adam, I mean, what I would say is kind of like what we've done for our licensees. We've done the heavy lifting for marketing, the training. They're going to get a certification with us. So we've done everything that we can possibly do, that we can think of helping get people getting out there and start building their business.
That's right. We've got it all. It's very much a turnkey operation. You've probably seen that term, but this truly is a turnkey operation where we've done this before. I mean, we've been doing this since 1994. We've been doing this for a long time. So we have a very specific set of steps for you to follow in order to start getting your business and generating revenue. And that's our goal, with our training, is to get you generating revenue with that first client as quickly as you possibly can.
Right. Because it goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the first part of this webinar, is getting that return on investment. That's why we're showing this to you, because we want you to identify and connect with what you're getting here at ABS that will in turn to help you get that first client, in order that you get that return on your investment as quickly back as possible. And we kind of talked about demonstrations, but we've kind of got this illustrated here in as best we can, so you can see that this is one of the things that you're getting from us as part of your support. We are the ones doing the demonstrations for you. These people that you're seeing here are not our demo people. These are licensees that we have done hundreds of demonstrations for their doctors. As you can see below, this is how ABS supports our licensees.
Yeah, we have a very specific marketing process that we do for you, and this is one of the steps, is showing the provider a full demo of the iClaim and all the other platforms that we mentioned and how they work together. We answer all the doctors' technical questions for you, and we're doing this as if we're a part of your company that you've set up. So that is huge for your credibility. As someone who, we get this question all the time, how in the world is a doctor going to want to, work with me, knowing that I'm brand new and stuff? And that's why, because you have a lot of support partners like us doing a lot of the demos and helping with answering the doctor's questions and stuff like that really builds your credibility.
So one of the things I'm showing you here just real quickly is our licensee support site. Obviously, we don't have the time to take you through that part of it, but that's a secured site only for our licensees. But we're showing this to you because this is how you go and request this demo. You just go online. You don't have to even call up support. Just go online, put in your information, put in the requested days that you want to do that, and then obviously, folks, you can go on there, and just see everything else that we have once you're a licensee. And obviously, if we had the time, we could take it there today, but you kind of see a few of the things there that we can do. But Adam, as we kind of wrap up here, again, we're kind of saying, what do you get for this? This is an ingenious thing I think that your dad has come up with, and that is to create a real book that's written by your Patrick Phillips, your dad, Dr. Vicki Rackner, which is a real book, but the forward is actually written for our licensees, and they can write them if they want to, but their name actually gets printed on the front part of the book. I'm going to let you kind of take this, and I'll just flip to the next screen when you're ready.
So yeah, a question that we get all the time is, how do I stand apart? How do I set myself apart? How do I stand out in this industry? And you're looking at it right here.
Yeah.
This book was developed as a specifically as a marketing tool that you can use to give to office managers or doctors so that they can learn about revenue cycle management and how to, improve their revenue in different ways. They love to be educated. They love to read. So,
right.
So you're handing them a free book where the foreword of the book we've already written, but we actually print your name on there as the author of the foreword. And that is just a huge credibility builder because you've got your name on there with the founder of American Business Systems and a retired surgeon, Vicki Rackner, who they wrote this book. And the really cool thing is the doctor doesn't have to read this whole book. We know that their time is very limited. So in our training, we actually show you how to highlight and bookmark just certain sections of the book to really grab their attention and let them know that, hey, here's some ways to improve your revenue. You can try to go this on your own, do it on your own, or, hey, Susan Smith here has, we have a revenue management company that can help you if you don't have time to do it yourself. So this right here, we had a lady tell us about a year ago when this book came out. She said she actually called Patrick up and said, Patrick, I gave this book to 3 doctors. She's in California. I gave this book to 3 doctors, and I signed them all up. All 3 of them, they signed up from this book. So it's working.
Yeah. And folks, again, a lot of people, again, as Adam's already stated, I'm brand new at this. Why is a doctor going to trust me? You get instant credibility of being part of ABS because of the longevity that we've been around. Now, obviously, we're not touting ABS out there, but you've got the support of 24 years behind you, and that's pretty good. And whenever you're dealing with going out there, and it really starts with our live training course, as we're kind of just demoing and showing you here on this one particular screen. And at the end of that training week, Adam, you're the one that's signing this. There's a certified medical revenue manager at the end of the 5 live days of training there.
Yeah, so we actually had a question from Aaron. How long does your training take if we don't have any previous medical billing experience? Well, our initial training is a 5-day class that we do in Dallas, Texas, or you can take our online course if Texas is too, hot for you or whatever. We have an online version. And I say that's your initial training because Eric showed a screenshot of our private support website that's that you get a special login to. You have access to that for the life of your business 24/7. And so once people go through this initial week of training, they actually become certified as a certified medical revenue manager, a CMRM. And so you receive that certificate at the end of the first that week of live training. But that's just the beginning. Your training is ongoing, and you're able to continue your education through our private support website. And we have hundreds of hours of continuing education where you can watch webinars, and there's all kinds of good stuff to learn about the industry, the services, different marketing methods, so on and so forth. So as you're out there building your business and getting clients and signing up doctors, you're able to also continue learning about the industry.